Hi folks, Dan here with another market update. Just sold. This is a just sold business. It's a real business. We've just settled this business and I'll be really excited to share with you this information in a second, the key stats of this particular business. I must say that I love doing these updates, and the reason is because there's no real place that a buyer or seller alike can go to get real-time stats on businesses that have just sold. Businesses that have just sold will have, by nature, confidential, and certainly some pieces of information may be passed down through a rumour mill or through some kind of Chinese whisper, and information along the way gets convoluted. Buyers and sellers alike, the best place to find out what businesses are worth are by comparing the real stats to the most recent business and comparable business that you can find. So happy to share this one with you folks. This is a CBD cafe. CBD cafes are always very, very interesting because they transcend a lot of the market trends. So this CBD cafe, I'll tell you about it now. It's been trading less than 1 year. So trading less than 1 year. It's located in the lobby for a very prominent building, seating for between 30 to 45. A strong portion of the sales are takeaway, and around 60% of sales are food sales, the remainder are coffee sales. Now, one of the negatives for this business was that there are no financials available, so there are no lodged accounts because the business is trading less than 1 year. Some of the BAS statements hadn't been prepared. So really what was sold was potential. And how do we go about doing that? I hate using trials as a method of sale, but we did have to use it in this case. So we conducted a trial with a 2-week trial with a 2-week training, and the minimum turnover was $20,000, i.e. $40,000 over 2 weeks. Now, the business, interestingly, when I took it on, was only turning over 15, but because the business was new and getting established, it was constantly upwards trending. So this buyer has walked in and thought, you know what, I can see that there's real potential here. I can see that the business is really underperforming. I'm paying for a future potential, and of course they were happy to do that. The sale price, by the way, folks, was $500,000. That's $500,000 for a business turning over $20,000 a week on a trial basis. There's no representation of profitability, and it's quite interesting because I had another business owner who also worked in the CBD but had been there for 8 years and had a turnover of $20,000, and he said, Dan, can you get me $500,000 for my business? And I said, no, I can't. I don't think anyone's going to pay that amount of money for your business because you only profit $100,000 a week and you can prove it. And it's quite ironic because a business that can't prove their numbers achieves a $500,000 sale, whereas this business with a $100,000 profit will probably achieve $200,000 to $250,000 sale with the same turnover. So where's the fairness in that? Well, ultimately it's subjective, but the real difference is that the business that would achieve $250,000 didn't have any, there was no value that an incoming owner could add to that business. So it very, very much limits the sale price. The buyer is not going to be buying for potential, they're buying for return on investment. Okay, so how do we, one of the things we did have to do was we had to cross-reference the wage records. So we used rosters. We had each staff member itemised with their weekly hours and their weekly pay rates, and we had the purchaser being able to confirm that with each staff member after the contracts were exchanged. The vendor had done a great job in organising very, very diligently each supplier, each invoice for each week from the time they opened until the time of sale. So that was a big tick. That really made things nice and transparent for the purchaser. Again, the sales trend was going up, so there was a lot of confidence from the purchaser side. There's 9 years left on the lease, and one of the reasons why we got such a great price for this business is because the rent was so cheap. It was $1,650 a week, including outgoings. The role of the full-time owner, they were actually working a lot in the business. The business was reliant on them, and in the last month when we started to introduce the purchaser, we decided that a good strategy would be for the old owner to start to taper down their hours and set the business up so that it wasn't going to be entirely reliant on them, and hence the new owner transitioning into the business. So that was a really great strategy that we used to instill some great confidence in the purchaser and also in the business. Now, one of the other big selling points was that there's $300,000 of fixed assets that were not depreciated yet because the business had not been through its full audit cycle. So the purchaser could walk into this business, have $200,000 of goodwill transferred, $300,000 of plant and equipment transferred, and be able to depreciate that plant and equipment heavily. So that was a really, really big bonus. And we always talk in terms of profit, in terms of pre-tax, but actually this purchaser's post-tax profit will be quite strong because there will be such high depreciation in their end-of-year financial reports. Okay, folks, so pretty simple transaction in the end, but it's really interesting that a business without financials in the middle of the CBD, turning over 20 grand, can sell for $500,000. Okay, folks, happy buying and selling. Hope that was helpful. Bye.